Hey folks, it's Brian Nutter from Summit Racing. We have a very special guest with us here today. We have been doing a Super Summit for many, many years. With COVID and everything going on this year, we're basically taking the Super Summit show and we are going virtual with it. Meaning we still have all of our racers, all of our manufacturers, everybody that you would normally expect to have at the Super Summit show. We're trying to bring to you so you can just, watch us, basically from your sofa. So the person I'd like to introduce you to today is Bill Martins from General Motors and Performance, Chevrolet Performance, basically. He's been with the company for 16 years, long time industry guy, goes way, way back. And he is going to share something very, very special with us today.
Oh, Brian, thanks for the invitation to be here. I really miss not being at Super Summit Live. I go every year. It's a great event, and if we've got viewers that haven't been before, hopefully next year it'll come back. But we took the opportunity at Chevrolet Performance to take some downtime as I'm broadcasting from my living room today. Very, very odd situation. We've been working on some things that were interrupted by the COVID shutdown. And what I'm going to do today is give all the viewers a Super Summit sneak peek to a new product that Chevrolet Performance is going to launch in the marketplace in a very short time. And I'm going to be just a little vague today because as I'm talking to you today, I can't give you the exact date, but it's going to be very soon, within a couple of weeks. And nice. there'll be more communications on the Summit site as this becomes available. So hate to tease you like that, but we're way ahead of the game. We were doing development when we were shut down. We were just in final certification. And as soon as we turned things back on, basically about 10 days ago, we were able to complete that. And now we're ready to share some pretty cool stuff with you.
That's awesome. Before we share that with our customers and the fans of General Motors, can you give us a little bit of background about that poster that you have in your background?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I'm going to tip that up just a little bit. That is the back cover of the 2020 Chevrolet Performance. I don't know which way to move here. Chevrolet Performance catalog that John Force was very involved in, and the car in the forefront is the commemorative John Force COPO Camaro. So very cool opportunity that we were able to put that together with John's 150th win on the drag strip. So he's been a good marketing partner for a long time. And I needed a backdrop that was reflective of all of you out there. And that's certainly a drag racing theme. So that's what that is. And it's one of one, but it's on the back of the 2020 catalog, which is available to you. Any dealer or Summit can supply that.
No, it's awesome. So the Chevrolet Performance catalog is a personal favorite. It's like I basically have a collection of them. It's really special because there's a lot of technical specs, like really heavy tech specs in there. And in there's anything, basically it's a lot of driveline related. And today we're probably kind of home in on what you're about ready to release.
Sure.
So crate engines, pretty big part of our business. And, you've had 350s and 383 small block Chevys, you've got the big blocks, 454s, you've got the 502s, tons, and even the COPO stuff is available, which is awesome. I'm so glad that you guys re-entered the COPO program. It's a really big deal to a lot of us out there because it gives us a supply of parts, going into the future. With direct injection, it's not so easy to modify, and you guys basically give us the building blocks to work from. And I should also mention, speaking about the future, is you've gone there as well with your E-Rod program, so that you can have. Can you tell us a little bit about the E-Rod program and Connect and Cruise?
Sure will. We do have quite a breadth of coverage, as Brian mentioned, in our product portfolio, and one of which is unique is our E-Rod. And that's our emissions compliant package, mainly used by, I think, 13, 14 states to meet certain requirements for 70, mid 70s cars and older. If there's a engine transplant to be performed, we have a certified package. CARB has given us an EO for an engine package complete with catalytic converters, which is unique in the market to my knowledge. And we have a short portfolio there. We have several horsepower listings, LS3 starting at 430 horsepower, the LSA, the supercharged version of that engine. And then we jumped up to the LT1 for the Gen 4 engines, and also LT4, the supercharged Gen 4 engine. So we've got a range of horsepower and, of course, corresponding price points. But the thing to point out is the E-Rod comes with certification to make it street legal. It's emissions compatible, and it has all of the, it's a one part number kit. Unlike the other engines where the controller is separately and other components may not be included, this is all inclusive. It includes the controller with the certified calibration, as well as exhaust manifolds and catalytic converters to button up the package. So that's a very, very important part of the business, especially to those of you west of the Rockies.
Absolutely. So yeah, the Gen 5 engines are, they're, a little bit of a tough nut there, but the LT4 is an awesome engine that's been in the vets, it's been in the Camaro, and LSA, for instance, has been in the CTSV as well. So it's a pretty cool thing that you got there going with these engines. I guess that really kind of leads us into what we want to talk to about today, and that is the introduction of your legendary LS7 crate engine. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, there's something, to me, it's always been magic. The iconic 427, going back to the day, if you will, back to the original COPO in 1969, and actually before that, the 427 has always been the bow tie flag carrier. And what we've done, and again, teasing you just a little bit, as we all know, the LS7 has just been an iconic number, 427 small block Gen 4 engine. But we took that version, which has only been available as a dry sump, and we decided to make that more enthusiast installer friendly, and we converted it to a wet sump. So along with the wet sump conversion, which has a Camaro F-body oil pan on it now, we also did some work in the valve train area. And those cylinder heads are just killer horsepower makers. And so we opted to make a little bump there, and we now have 570 horsepower. So what we've got is a wet sump LS7 converted to 427 cubic inches of wet sump, and everything is otherwise is LS7, if you will, externally. Has the Z28 headers out of the Gen 5 Camaro, very racy exhaust system in it. On the engine, they come with that as well. I would mention, if somebody has ever done this or talked about it, another small thing that we did to make this swap friendly, if you will, is we went ahead and drilled the block for an oil dipstick, and then of course installed it. Now that might not sound like a big deal, but if you buy an engine and we tell you you need to get out your drill and put that Black & Decker up there and punch a hole in that LS7 block, that might make a few folks a little nervous about it. Right. So we went ahead and did that as well. And we're just really happy to report that after all the testing and certification, that we've got a solid 570 horsepower and 540 pound-feet of torque. So it's amazing that iconic 427. It's not just a high RPM producer. It's a torquey monster as well. I think it's going to be very popular, as all the LSs have, now that we don't have to um, ask you to install a dry sump reservoir tank and the corresponding hoses and fittings. Uh, so we can eliminate one, fairly expensive step as well as time consuming. A lot of cars don't package well when you're trying to put a oil reservoir in a car that's already filled up with air conditioning, power steering, and there's a whole lot of things that it just never accommodated an oil reservoir before.
That is awesome. So what's really cool about this, I'm a huge LS fan. I've got one in my own car, and mine makes a little bit south of 600 horsepower at the wheels, and just a bit over 500 foot-pounds of torque. It is a riot to drive this thing, and mine is actually converted to wet sump as well, and it's
okay.
It's phenomenal package. Makes more than you'll ever really need on a street tire. It'll boil the tires off in 4 gears. So this thing is going to be around for a long time, and it is a thing. The LS7 is really the pinnacle for me in terms of engines. And I know you guys have things on the horizon there, but for a naturally aspirated factory engine, Gen 4 LS7 is just rock. And that thing was full of very, very special parts: steel crank, titanium connecting rods. The cylinder heads were basically a direct offshoot of what you guys did with the C5R Le Mans program. Titanium valve on the intake. The entire package was just a legend to begin with when you came out with that thing in 2006. And now it's going to keep us going into the, basically the long term. You've got a hot rod engine that I'd like to see around for the next 20 to 30 years. Can you give us a little bit of an idea? Obviously, GM with warranties and everything like that. Can you give us a little idea of how you're going to back the thing up?
Well, just like all the engines in the portfolio that are not specifically called out as a race engine, it carries the normal crate engine warranty, 2 years of 50,000. So the good news is, even at the higher horsepower, you're not being penalized at all on the warranty, and we're very confident on that. We have such a minimal amount of warranty issues, and I think that like a lot of things. When we do find something, in many cases, it's because somebody wasn't familiar with the particular application, and maybe they tweak something that they shouldn't have. So we've had very, very little that can be attributed to a production line issue. But we do have full warranty. That's a long answer to tell you we have full warranty behind it.
That's a phenomenal thing. So we talked a little bit before this segment. And so, as with a lot of the GM crate engine packages, you can have it either basically from the throttle body, through the intake manifold on down through the oil pan, or if you want to, you can go ahead and get the controller package as a separate option. So basically, if you don't have access, in other words, if you have a Gen 4 Camaro or C5 or C6 Corvette, whatever, you've already got all that stuff, and you just want to basically connect it, and HP tuners, EFI Live, whatever it is, and you go run with it. Now, GM, you guys are the best when it comes to calibration. So if you want to, you can go ahead and get the separate package with the controller, and you guys have already done the calibration in it. So it's just, kind of plug and play, and, just turn the key and go.
Yeah, I would comment that being the OE designers are working on this calibration, and with the same equipment, the standards are extremely high. So the bar is set very high, because this is the lifeblood of any engine, to have the correct calibration, to have durability. So we test these products like nobody else. So we're very comfortable, very confident in that. I would point out that, all of the engines in Gen 4, Gen 5 have a specific cal to that engine. And unlike, as you mentioned, some of the aftermarket suppliers, we know that there are modifications out there. You can turn the wick up and do amazing things with them. But part of our ability to deal with that warranty is we can't let things get completely away from that regard. So our controllers are locked. The calibration is basically factory sealed. But everything is there. We eliminate the stuff that you don't need. If you're swapping this into a 55 Chevy or a 69 Camaro, there's obviously a lot of things in the factory harness that you may not need. So we eliminate that. So it's a very clean package. It's everything you need and nothing else.
That's awesome. One of the other things that I'd like to bring up is, Chevrolet Performance is a big part of, Summit's business, but we also do a lot of, OE replacement parts, very much. And I personally use a lot of AC Delco parts in my engines. The oil filters, I've got factory LS3 injectors in mine. And the reason for that is, all of these have very good, known calibrations, characterization on the injectors. So you can just basically, plug in these injectors into your program and you're off and running with it. And it just makes it much easier to get these things up and running. You guys have flex fuel injectors available that are anywhere from, say 38, 39 to 54 pounds per hour. That covers a big wide range. Can you talk to us a little bit more about AC Delco products and what's kind of coming out there?
Sure, glad to. You're actually going to be seeing more of the AC Delco branding under the hood of your newer vehicle in years coming. That's always been behind the scenes, so to speak, not promoted as the OE brand. And almost everything under the hood is going to be branded here AC Delco very shortly. So specifically, things like wipers, things that you need in your daily driver, in your tow truck, all of those things. You don't always have your hot rod out. We know that. And we can service with the OE replacement parts through AC Delco that Summit is stocking and is doing an excellent job with. One of the bigger product lines would be to first look at the filters, air and oil, of course. Everything in the line has a good, better, best, the OE being the best and the highest standard. I think some other lines worth looking at or consideration are the brake line. There are three selections based on your basically your budget and the need, the type of vehicle and the driving that you have. OE, professional level, and then the Advantage line, which is our value line. Very good, still the same engineers, but not to the original equipment that meets the original equipment warranty. We also have the complete line of belts and hoses available. And Brian already mentioned that the complete fuel system, electric fuel pumps as well as fuel injectors, are available and on the shelf available from Summit. So I guess I would just wrap a bow around all of those product lines. You can go online, take a look at all the things. You might be surprised on how much stuff that you might be able to use in your performance car as well as your daily driver. And again, high standards. Everything is engineered to the same high standards, if you will, that comes on your production car.
And that's a really big deal. It's anytime I put an AC Delco part in my car, I know that it's going to go 200,000 miles. It's ridiculous, but any of those parts, these things, last for 200,000 miles. They never used to do that. And so very high quality parts. You can buy them all here at Summit Racing. We've got everything very easy to find by year, make, model, engine, variety of different ways that we can do this. But Bill, I want to say thank you very much for, coming out and hanging out with us today at our Super Summit, Manufacturers Midway. Looking forward to updates on new things and super excited about the LS7 coming out the crate. And any other things you got for us?
Oh, I really appreciate the opportunity. I got a 384-page catalog. I could go on for quite a while, but I don't think our editor is going to let us do that. But please check out the full master catalog as well as the Summit online catalog. If you don't have a copy, you can get a PDF, a downloadable PDF of the Chevrolet Performance catalog at chevrolet.com/performance. So you can go on there, view the entire catalog live, or download a PDF, either way. We update the PDF quarterly, and of course the paper catalog, we only update that once a year. So it's a good reference point, and we'll continue to add more and more to the online presence as well. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity. We've got a big basket of stuff, and we just like to make you aware of some of the things you might not have been aware of before, available from General Motors and Chevrolet Performance.
Well, Bill, thank you very much. And also the engineers behind the scene and the people within the team there that, bring these things to market. You guys are doing a great job. We love seeing, that steady row of new things that you have coming out every year. And again, thank you, Bill, for joining. Most of all, thank you to our customers here at Summit Racing. We love, just helping you guys, build your car, go a little faster, make it cool. And I guess with that, see you guys next time.